French and Dutch authorities have raided Netflix offices in Paris and Amsterdam as part of a dual tax fraud probe targeting the streaming giant.
Officials from both countries announced they have cooperated on the Netflix tax investigation since it was discreetly initiated in 2022.
The United States and the Republic of Korea reached an agreement this month to enhance collaboration between the civil nuclear energy sectors of both nations.
The countries signed a Memorandum of Understanding that addresses nuclear exports and collaborative efforts, as confirmed by a U.S. Department of Energy statement.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture has announced that starting in 2027, schools will be prohibited from charging processing fees to students eligible for free or reduced price meals.
School districts currently partner with processors.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right,
you got a dog that
sunshine.
needs
Just
to
put
bite
on a big
somebody.
pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy.
We got
It's time
something.
for coffee with a dog. You make me laugh.
Ben makes me laugh. You're all making me laugh. Laugh, laugh, laugh. How's that? Laugh. I guess good morning. Sure, it's a good morning. How are you? It's a happy go-lucky.
Wake up,
what the hell is
America.
that? I thought we had the button push for no looping. I might as well fire me too. It is a happy-go-lucky Thursday morning. Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, November 7th, 2024. Just one day closer to the end time. So that's something to look forward to, right? A little more upbeat today than I was yesterday. Obviously, time does not heal all wounds, but makes the wounds a little more palatable, a little easier to take. I have not made any decision about where I'm going with the future, but I have made some small decisions on what I want to do to battle just the endless right-wing insanity that is going on in America. And when I say right-wing, I don't mean the right wing that I grew up with. I'm talking about the right wing of the last 9 years or so that has exposed itself. And listen, I'm not going to stop calling you fucking idiots Nazis, because that's what you are. You might not like it. Go fuck yourself, Nazi. That's you are a Nazi. It's like, I don't like being called bald and old. But look in the fucking mirror. Look at me. What am I? I'm bald and old. I don't like being called that. I am what I am. You are a fucking Nazi. Wear it. Okay? All right. What I am going to do, I'm going to be looking to put, because I'm an old fucking geezer. I'm a bald old man. I no fucking young people are listening to me and being influenced by what I have to say. about the direction of the world, America, all of that stuff. But here's the thing. The right wing, and again, right wing, by right wing, I mean Nazi fucking propagandists, is filled in the new media space with just a plethora of voices, bro podcasters, bro live streamers, that really are influencing a lot of people. Whether they should be, no, they shouldn't be. They're all fucking idiots, all of them. I'm talking about anywhere from Joe Rogans to Dan Benignos, or all those people on the right, who are just, constantly feeding young minds. I'm not the guy to counter that. I am going to be looking for young, smart people on what is now called the left. And I'm going to volunteer my time, marketing services, and energy that I have left into amplifying those voices. Because what is crystal clear is that the people, the progressive people in the world, are relying on traditional media, thinking traditional media is an ally. Mainstream media, if you want to call it that, which I hate that fucking term, but you want to call it mainstream media. They think the fourth estate is working to protect us from fascism. No, the fourth estate is working to protect their corporate interests. They are a business. And people like Donald Trump are good for business. They're good for ratings. And that's what CNN cares about. And that's even what MSNBC, and you could go as far left as you can possibly go, the Tom Hartmans of the world. They are serving what eyes and ears, and not necessarily really reaching the people that need to be reached, and with the right kind of messaging. So I'm going to be, for whatever little I can contribute to the cause, dedicating all of the rest of my life and all of the rest of my energy that I have into finding young, smart people, hopefully with some slight degree of toxic masculinity that can speak to the young men who are listening to Rogan, to counter that, to listen to the Joe Rogans of the world, the Ben Shapiros of the world, the Dan Benignos of the world, and counter that, the Steven Crowders of the world, all those fucking people. We need to have a counter voice that is being heard. And what do we got? We got Brian Tyler Cohen. Yeah, he's good and he's smart. Destiny, who is good and smart, but also, he's not exactly the kind of guy that bros want to relate to. He's not buff. He's not manly enough, dare I say, for the young men who are gravitating to daddy figures. Now, you can say that they gravitate toward Jordan Peterson. Yeah, that's true. I don't get that. But I think I need to find somebody I can help amplify. I like Luke Beasley, but again, he's not appealing to the bros because he's not flexing his muscles enough. He's not dick joking enough. He's not ball tapping like Steven Crowder does, or whatever that turns these fucking cavemen on. We need to find somebody, and I don't like calling it the left, the current left, whatever that is and what that represents. We need to find some of those voices and help amplify them, and that's where I'm going to put up all my energy. I did find a nice apartment in Cabo San Lucas, Baja California, and I'm thinking about going that way. Now, this is where I'm thinking right now. Got a message on Twitter. This is an interesting message I got this morning from somebody called Kristen Commons. I think she meant to say Cummins. says, "I'm so playful." ATM. I think ATM means at the moment, but it could mean cash. I'm so playful, ATM for you, Mind Dog, and just created this that photo. I don't see any photo for you. I really hope you love it. And then she's got a link, and she wants me to join her in a secret live video. This is what Twitter has become. It's become a phishing app for young prostitute wannabes to go after geezer old men who are out of Viagra, I guess. Just interesting. Like this, I don't know. I don't know what makes me a target for that. I'm pretty broke, pretty fucking financially broke. So you young ladies who think you're gonna fit, get me to send you money. I'm asking you to send me money. Send me money for to help me get my car fixed so I can go to Cabo San Lucas and just live on the beach, play my acoustic guitar, and put my marketing skills and energy to some young buck who can get a platform like this and speak to the people that need to hear the message. Yesterday, wasting no time at all. Let me backtrack a little bit. When my discussions with my brother, who I'm not going to be talking to anymore, I love him, but I'm not going to be talking to him anymore. I told him that Donald Trump had planned to cut Social Security and Medicare. And his rebuttal to that is, why would they do that? That's ridiculous. They're not going to do that. They're not going to put a bunch of old people, make up, most of the old people homeless. I said, well, think about it. Why would they say that if they weren't going to do it? It's not like that's a great campaign platform. It's not like you're going to get a lot of old people to vote for you if you're promising that. Now, a lot of old people did vote for him, despite him saying that, because they don't believe he's going to do it. Well, yesterday, day one of President-elect Nazi Hitler, the Republican Congress put forth a bill on the table to cut Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security. And they want to have the bill ready and passed for Schitzler to sign his first day in office. Yeah, didn't take long. Didn't take long to say, why would he do that? He would never do that. Yeah, and he did it. He's already working on it. So getting through to people to vote in their own. It's just remarkably. People are talking about pointing the finger of blame everywhere they possibly can about what went wrong. People on the Harris side, what went wrong with this election, and I don't think she did anything wrong. I think she ran a very good campaign. I am very confused about what happened to the 15 million votes. Now, listen, keep in mind, more people registered to vote this time than in 2020. What happened? The day of the election, they decided to stay home. Now, a lot of Democrats were saying their votes never got counted. They got receipts that said their ballots weren't counted. I don't know, 15 million of them. But it doesn't seem, and I'm not suggesting that the left do what Trump's people did and go riot at the Capitol or any of that stuff. But there should be some investigations into what happened to all these people who not only registered to vote, but exit polls actually showed they vote, but their votes are not being they're not adding up in the tallies. What happened to them? So there's that, and there's no official investigation. It's at this point, it's just conspiracy theories. What happened to those votes, and leaving that open. There's a lot of conjecture there. So that's that. We have a show for you today. It's a show, I guess. It's not the kind of show that I think we should be doing in this time. In the first hour, we're supposed to have, and I think he'll show up, Peter Krestev, who is the founder of Coach PK, online fitness stuff. And I'm, you know what, obviously not 100% here and in the moment for an online fitness discussion, but I'll do my best. In the second hour, we're supposed to have Uncle Mishon, who is a black man who's got a book called I Am Not Your Black America. He's a former U.S. Army officer turned surgical technologist, Uncle Mishon Daniels. I'm not sure he's going to show up. His publicist says they don't work with him anymore. I don't know how he got the link. I don't know how he even scheduled. So he might not show up. If he does show up, I'm telling you this. I'm not going to be nice. I'm not going to be. I don't understand black people who voted for Donald Trump. I don't. And he is a black Trumper. And I'm not going to be nice about it. I'm not. I have no patience left with women who voted for Trump, with black people or Hispanics who voted for Trump, trans people and gay people who voted for Trump. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't get it. Now, here's the last thing I'm going to say about this. The irony. It's not the last thing I'm going to say about Trump. It's the last thing I'm going to say about the irony of people who back Trump because they say, well, he speaks his mind, even though he's insulting people and he makes a platform out of just being ugly from the get-go and being really bullyish and name-calling. They support him and say, well, he just speaks his mind. They want me to be nice and polite. Can't you just be civil to people? And wait a minute. You're supporting the guy who just makes nuclear war out of verbal insults because he speaks his mind. He just says what he wants to. But you're insisting that I be nice and polite. Are you out of your fucking stupid cunt mind? Go fuck yourself, you Nazi prick. That's what I say. How about that? So that's where I'm going with that too. So I don't know if our sponsors want to be associated with me anymore, but I'm going to tell you about them anyway. Opus Clip, go spend some money there. Make me a dollar heir so I can go move to Cabo San Lucas and put my energy into doing the right thing from a distance where I don't have to give a fuck about what's going on in Nazi America. Audio there. Ladies and gentlemen, Steven, the sitcom, is stealing what's his name?
Black jobs and black spots.
Right. He's stealing his spot. Now, why is your mic overloading? It's overmodulating. It's not that it's so loud, it's that it's overmodulating. In the room with me now is Steven, the overmodulating boy Ortiz, Ron Kane, who is still probably recovering from bad predictions that he made about the outcome of the election. And what's his name? What's his name is here. Good morning. What's his name?
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Are you upset about the results of Tuesday's election? Well, it's not too late to do something. Do something. And don't miss your opportunity to buy some great Coffee with the Dog merchandise. MindDogTV.com. Support your local merchandise and enjoy the suffering.
Peter Krestev was here. He ran away. when I guess he heard me say Nazi fuck and thought I was talking about him. I don't know. But he ran away. He ran away. Fitness coach ran away. Sir Robin chickened out. He ran away. He chickened out.
Well, at least he was fit enough to run away. You know.
Well, yeah. Well,
wasn't fit, he couldn't run.
Right.
It's true. I can attest to that.
I'm not. Yeah.
You know that
you can't pass a test to that though.
You know that Nishon Daniels was on the show before, so that's probably where he has the. That's why he knows about us. He's been on the show before.
He didn't have the Calendly link. He had the old Mind Dog TV booking link, and he didn't even have that because his former publicist did. He dropped it. I guess he couldn't afford to pay the publicist anymore. His book isn't selling all that well. Go figure. A black guy saying racism doesn't exist. Well, go figure. That doesn't. That's not a bestseller.
I thought the white people would have bought that one. Not all white people, but the right.
Matt Walsh.
I'm sorry, the right people. Yeah, the right people, not the white people. The right people would have bought that.
I think Matt Walsh based an entire movie on it called "Am I Racist?" And yes, the answer is just yes. Well, let's just jump to the end.
Daniel Tosh had this bit that I thought was hilarious. It was called "Is This Racist?" And he would have people from different groups, trans and black and white and Asian and Native American and dwarfs or little people, all in the same room. And he would say something totally innocuous, but he'd say it in such a way that he'd go like, "So is this racist? Crap shooter." And then someone would go like, "Yeah, that is. I find it offensive." Or he'd go like, "Thermos bottle."
Well,
I called you a thermos bottle.
I find this offensive. Jay says ATM means something filthy dirty. It means ass to mouth, but that's not what she means in the context of. I think she was talking at the moment is what she is.
No, ATM is what happened on Tuesday night.
Yeah, you never go ass to mouth, by the way. That's
wait, I shut the fuck up for a second. I'm sorry, Ron. Could you please explain? What do you mean? ATM is what happened Tuesday night. Can you explain?
That was election night, right? And Trump clearly put his taint on America, and America licked it up. I mean, it got the tongue in there. You could taste the corn from Monday night. It was.
All right. I get it. Yeah. All right, Stephen. I'm sorry I said shut the fuck up. What I really meant is, could you please be quiet? Ron is speaking.
You're okay, buddy.
I'm a little irritable. Too much caffeine in the coffee.
Just for the record, Matt, I have never called you bald and old. I called you old and bald. Okay, just so you know.
I accept it. See, the issue is I don't have any problem with people stating the obvious truth that I am old and bald. There's no problem with that. Nazis have a problem with me stating the obvious truth that they are supporting a Nazi, and if you support a Nazi, you are a Nazi by default. There's no, I'm a good person. I just happen to support a Nazi. But
maybe the difference is they haven't taken the Nazi oath yet. They've done everything else but take the oath. It's like two people living together as man and wife, but they haven't taken the vows.
Yeah, but at some point they're legally considered married anyway, right? So
that takes 7 years.
A Nazi.
7 years. Yeah.
I think what you should do, Matt, is shorten your mustache so that way you start to look like Hitler. Rebrand this as a conservative podcast. You'd make bank for the next 4 years.
I'm not bro enough. I'm not young enough. I'm not. If I were my 23-year-old self and pumped up and like looking like a fucking weightlifter and all that stuff, sure, I could appeal to the people who need to hear the message. I think that's what it takes. I'm an alpha male. Look at my muscles. And that ain't happening for me.
There are going to be in the next 4 years. There are going to be right now it's bad. There's going to be a lot of sad, angry, lonely men for the next 4 years.
Don't talk about me like that, Ron. Don't talk about me
like that. I don't know if gay sex is definitely going to go up, but I could definitely see a lot of these bros starting to blow each other.
where I don't know what trying to predict the future and how long, what the timelines look like for devastation and dystopia.
I'm not predicting anything else anymore.
We got 1 year.
I stopped with it.
We got the first year, like from now until next November, it'll be okay. The cracks will start to show up around the 6 months mark. Then by this year, by this time next year, then something bad will happen. Then the truck will start really going off, or the train will start really going off the rails. Then by 26, then we should be in a full shitstorm by then, because something will happen, and a lot of stuff won't get done because of his small ego. Because we've seen what happened during his last presidency. Except this one will be worse.
Oh yeah, but because you're trying to predict the future here, where a guy who literally is not, he's in advanced stages of decline already. But though you never know, it can go from 1 minute being where he is now to the next minute drawing pictures of on the wall in feces. I mean, this is what happens. This is not a joke. People when they get to that age, and dementia can skyrocket overnight. You could wake up the next day and be totally gone. And he's at that point where you never know. Tomorrow could be the day he wakes up writing, I hate Obama on the wall in his own shit. So you can't really predict the future. What I can predict is this. On day one, and this is where I'm really interested. On day one, all the funding to Ukraine is going to stop. And basically, he's going to try to just hand Ukraine to Vladimir Putin. We know this is the plan. Now, where we go from there and how that looks, how long it takes for Ukraine to fall, who knows? But the thing I'm really interested in is Biden is spending he's already in his last 2 months, he's made his priority sending more aid to Ukraine. Like, they're not gonna bank it, and then nothing. It's useless at this point. It's fallen, and we're kind of trying to prop up something that is absolutely going to fall in the next several months. So it seems like a way. Biden is just like wasting his time at this point. He should resign and make Harris president for a short term. Maybe have somebody with the balls to take the Supreme Court up on their offer of making me a king. But he is just wasting. He's wasting whatever precious time he has left to try to do something significant.
I think he wants to help Ukraine. One of the things he can do, and it's probably within his power, he can deploy some ships. Let's say 4 or 5 ships, and let's say 15 F-50. Is it F-21s, F-15s? What do they want? What do they want from us? Just send them over there and just leave them there. Don't put out troops. Just leave them there for them to use. You just said we're lending you these. Or it's a gift, or you bought them for $1 each, and just put them over there and walk away. That way, you're not going through Congress. You've deployed the equipment, and then you brought the troops back home. You say, okay, guys, you brought it over there. Now, troops, come home. No, leave the stuff like we do in Afghanistan, like we did in Kuwait. Just leave the stuff because we're done, and come back home. Just do that.
Yeah, I don't think that's a long-term solution. And there's no doubt that the writing is on the wall for Ukraine. If I were living in Ukraine, I'd be thinking about going to Cabo San Lucas. And
I wonder who. I think we should bet on who's going to be the first country to attack us.
I think we did this yesterday.
You know what? I also had this conversation last night with some friends too. Yeah, we did talk about it yesterday, and I think it was. I think I said it was going to be
the U.S.
Yeah, well, and then we had that discussion, and then we said no foreign. Do you guys not remember yesterday? I'm the guy I'm the old man with dementia here.
I remember yesterday. I'm still having. My nightmares are now returning. Okay, for like the first time Trump won, the period between the election day and and January 20th, I used to have I was having bad nightmares because I didn't know what else I could do to stop that man from taking office. The nightmares are back.
Well, here I think if you want to join me in putting your energy into finding some young lions of media to battle the bro new media that is out there, I think that's our best option for people like you and me who are not going to appeal to young voters or people who need to get involved. We need to have voices that are making a difference and help them get amplified to the level, because I was looking at some of the numbers. Some of these guys were pulling in 40 million fucking live streams. That's more than Super Bowl numbers, right? And the people are just getting all their information from the stupidest fucking people on the planet. And so I think the people identifying who the people we need to support is one thing, and then putting all your energy into giving them a voice. I will use every last drop of energy I have left in this life to make that happen and help them succeed, because I think
do you think Twitter becomes the official mouthpiece of the White House?
It already is. It's been. It's I think.
No, I mean like really official, not the way it's been.
I don't know how it could get any more. Because he's already got his thumb firmly on the scales of amplifying right-wing voices and putting left-wing voices down. And I keep saying left and right like that means anything in today. I do, and I know you guys might disagree with me on this, but I think what we call the left right now is real conservatism. What we're calling the left is people who want to preserve the Constitution and the American way of life. That is traditional conservatism. You want to preserve the foundations and the institutions and checks and balances that were put into place. The questions I have are, first of all, Trump is going to be inaugurated and swear that he's going to protect the Constitution of the United States of America, and his first action will be to tear it up. I promise to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America.
But he didn't pinky swear. Okay, he's probably going to do this. He's going to be like, I swear the blah 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 blah.
Yeah. But so why the point I'm making is, why even pretend that the legislature matters? Why did he even need a bill? He's been given the right of kings by the courts, and why even pretend? Why pretend you even need the legislature or the courts anymore? It's all moot. You
still need those if it's to make it laws. I mean, otherwise it's just an executive order which can be undone by the next potentate.
Well, you see, there is no next. There is no next.
There is a next, even if it's not, because let's put it this way: the man is not healthy. He's got gravy for blood. So the next potentate would be
J.D. Vance.
In this case, J.D. Vance, unless somebody does something. So it would be, J.D. Vance. Oh, I'm sorry, Peter Thiel.
Right. So, but it's not that's not a next. That's a continuation of whether there's not going to be a 2028 election. There's no choice to be made by the people coming down the pike. There's no. But
you're also assuming that a lot of stuff will get done his next term. If he goes through that, if he does this whole fucking enemies thing, that's just going to be shit. That's going to be tied up in courts. It's just going to be tied up forever.
Courts?
It's going to be bogged down. It's going to be bogged down.
The Supreme Court gave him the right to just say no courts. In the best interest of America, we're doing away with the court system.
It just has to be
executive order,
act, right?
What?
It just has to be an official act, and he can do what he wants.
Exactly. All he has to do is claim it's an official act with the court, the Supreme Court, backing him every step of the way. There is no. The courts don't matter. The legislation doesn't matter. He can do whatever he wants. It's all kind of for show or a charade at this point.
It's not even that anymore because there's no checks or balances. The whole system is almost completely red now. There's no checks and balances now. It's just a red, slippery fucking slide of doom.
Yeah.
Like right now, anything that wants to happen can basically happen because now there's nobody really to stand in the way and be like, no.
Yeah.
Like, it's horrible.
So, I was betting that Mishorn wasn't going to show. Peter did show, but he ran away. So I didn't expect to do 2.5 hours with that.
It may have been the thing about the Nazi fucks, because maybe he's a secret Nazi and he didn't know that you knew.
Well, he came from, that could be. He came from another, I don't know what country he came from, but his name certainly sounds like it might be from one of those.
Ian, maybe they did not see it coming.
Yeah.
Kresev.
Yeah, that's, he's just reposting Andy Andrus stuff. So I love Ian, but don't be an Andrus joke thief. If you're gonna steal jokes, steal them from Stephen Sitcom Ortiz, because nobody's ever gonna hear them. And
wow, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I have 2 videos with over 30,000 views. Okay, I don't want to hear it.
Oh,
just because you watched it 29,998 times does
No.
not mean
No.
I'm just fucking with you. That would be me.
I don't like
that
to
would be
listen to
me.
myself.
Can you? I don't care how many views you have. Can you whistle the theme from Andy Griffith?
Hold on, I gotta wet my lips. Hold on, I've been smoking. Hold on.
How many times you've heard that before?
I can't.
I can't do it anymore.
I can't. I'm smiling. Yeah, I know the. Yeah, I know the Andy Griffith show.
GD, stop that! You're just giving windscreen noises, and it's hurting my ear. I didn't hear one whistle.
Maybe I'm too close, but I can hear the whistling.
You can hear it.
Maybe I was just too close because I thought my whistle was too soft because I'm out of practice.
You think Ron ran away to go be with Peter in at the
No,
Quarry
he
Hole?
actually tried to tell us what he was doing in it, but we were talking over him, and he couldn't stand back to repeat it, so he turned it off. He goes, "I'll be right back." I'll be. But we wouldn't shut up.
So you know what? A day later, I'm still. I have to come back to this. What happened to the 15 million votes? And now people are trying to fucking give me like ridiculous.
It's not a one. No. It's not a one source thing. It's because this is how the Trump people do stuff. They inundate. They flood the field. So like think about the insurrection thing. Part of it was okay. They went through. They tried to Congress. They set the fake electors. They had the rioters. They had like multiple attacks at one time. So that even if you stop one, maybe the other one would make it. So my theory is that they opted to do like multiple things so that one or two of them failed, one of the other 2 or 3 would work well enough that he would win.
Yeah.
So for example, in 2008, when McCain and Obama were running, there's footage of let me see. Ohio was leaning toward Obama, and what's his name? Damn, I can't remember his name, but he was a Republican pundit. Karl Rove. Karl Rove says, "Oh, wait till 11 o'clock. Wait till 11 o'clock. It'll the votes will be da 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 da." And Anonymous, there's a group called Anonymous, I believe it was. They said they intercepted a package that would have switched the votes or flipped some of the votes from Obama to McCain. That was 2008. Anonymous said they did that. So let's say they tried that again this time, because who would think they'd go back to that old trick? They do that. They deny ballots. They, because he had people that were sympathetic to him in places of control and power. they'd be the final arbiters of whether or not these ballots are, be counted or accepted. So sure, you attack here, 1 or 2 million here, 1 or 2 million there, 1 or 2 million there, 1 or 2 million there, and then before you know it, you're talking about real votes.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it too, and the fact that Trump got the same number of votes he got last time.
Actually, 3 million less.
Well, okay, a few million less, but still close, right? But then Kamala seems to some reason get that drastically much lower.
15 million less, even though there was really no enthusiasm for Joe Biden. Compared to her, she had Obama level enthusiasm behind her, and 15 million people bothered to register, and they don't show up at the polls on the most important day.
Yeah, it almost makes me wonder, like what GD was alluding to is if some group got involved, because, and I'm not into necessarily those kinds of conspiracies to that extent, but it's just a really odd set of facts that don't seem to really line up to make sense, in my opinion.
And they only have a few weeks to do a deep dive and solve it, because otherwise,
right.
But it doesn't. The question. Wait, stop. They have a few weeks to do a deep dive in who is they and are they doing it, because it doesn't seem she totally conceded and didn't say anything. Nobody in power, nobody even in the mainstream media is suggesting that this should go any further. It's a done deal, and there's not going to be an investigation whatsoever.
Even Obama.
One at a time.
You go, Stephen.
Even Obama made a statement saying that, hey, this is a done deal. We need to just have a peaceful transfer of power. We need to ride out the next 4 years, even though we don't agree on everything. Blah, 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 blah. Even doesn't even seem like he's making a fuss about anything. It seems like nobody cares that at that level that this has happened.
They're so afraid of
appearing
to be to give credibility to what happened in 2020 with the election deniers, that they don't even want to do a legitimate investigation without getting like conspiratorial about it.
Now, this is my theory. If they're doing it, because I don't know. I was wrong about the election, and I could be wrong about this. But my theory is that, like, if a good cop has a suspect in mind, they let them think they're getting away with it. It's like, we checked you out. Your alibi is solid. You're right. And then they'll say, okay, now let's keep going on investigating underneath of all this. Now that they think they're free and clear, maybe they'll make a mistake to help us, but we're going to keep digging because this is our guy. This is where all the facts are pointing us. So we let them think they're in the clear. I don't know. It's just a theory. If I were doing it, that's the way I would do it.
It's a Pollyannish theory, but I get it. I understand what you're saying, and that might be the case, but I'm highly doubtful of it. I mean, I think it is more the case that they are so afraid of appearing to be just exactly what the Trump people were and still would be if they lost, that they don't want to they don't want to have that appearance. Like she, in her concession speech, she just pointed out without using his name that what he did last time was wrong, and she is gracefully conceding the election but not conceding the fight. So it's just about appearances, and like, fuck appearances, man. Take the fucking gloves off. There's no reason to play by rules anymore. The rules are fucking gone. They wanted the rules eliminated. Stop being fucking hypocritical about this and just get in and fucking get muddy.
Well, then hopefully the Democrats fucking build from the bottom up, because they made a lot of mistakes on this round, and I think people are just tired of it, because even though it doesn't make sense that Trump is back, at the same time it does, because he was able to build on this thing. It's like, oh, they're just doing this. It was just like Biden to Kamala, and I feel a lot of people were just like, well, why is it her just because she's the vice president? And I think that rubbed people the wrong way.
Yeah.
But even though, it's like, even on the Trump side, he did the same thing. He just basically bullied his way into that position, but that side doesn't care because they like loud, shiny things, and that's what they are.
Yeah.
What's really going to be fun is how thirsty and empowered these Karens are going to be these next 4 years. You thought racism was fun last time? Buckle up, everybody.
Yeah. We've had people come on. I'll go on these pundit shows and say, "I voted for Trump for one reason and one reason only." And more than one person has said this. They did it to protect the white majority. Holy fuck! That's not. But I'm not admitting I'm a racist. But we did it to protect the white majority. We don't want to lose.
Sense. I mean, we're a racist country. The sad whites are scared because they're getting fucked out of existence. And so this type of shit is going to happen. Hey, whiteys, you're getting fucked out of existence. You're welcome. Right. You can't stop it. People love pussy. People love cocks.
Why even want to be white? Like, what's the advantage? Sunburning? That's not fun. Who wants that?
Well, it's just this dream. It's this
horrible.
dream.
We're not good at sports.
Yeah, it's just a dream you sell to people. It's like you peaked in high school, and these people are like, "Oh, we got to go back to the good old days." There are really no good old days.
No, there never were any good old days.
Throw out the varsity jersey. You weren't that good.
I could throw a football over those mountains.
Okay, Uncle Ricky.
Couple of really the most disturbing things to me. Machan. Now, somebody's saying now the date is the 26th, not the 18th, not the 24th, which is a Sunday, which it wouldn't be, but the 26th. But he's considering tossing the conviction and not sentencing Trump on the 26th. And Jack Smith is looking to to wipe out his investigation and just go, "Oh, well, he won, so we can't do anything. Might as well just forget about it." That is, to me, that's surrender. That's complete surrender, and surrender on terms where you're not looking for a way to continue the fight from a distance or any of that kind of stuff. It's just blanket surrender. There's no justice in America. And we have to just accept that he's above the law. According
to two sources, the new date is November 26th.
Right. The new date for what? To toss out the sentence.
The sentence.
To toss out the sentence.
Well, it's the sentencing date. Okay, that's November 26th. The sentencing date.
But if he's tossing it, the date doesn't matter, does it?
Well, I guess that has to be official. He has to be wearing his robe, and maybe that's when he gets it cleaned and pressed. I don't know.
Right. Bottom line is there's no justice, and we're just throwing up our hands and saying, no, he's above the law. Remember that thing about no kings and no individual being above the law?
I really want to see the contract that Trump made with the devil. I want to read that contract. How did he get such a good fucking contract?
You don't, if I may, you don't need a contract between yourself and yourself.
Okay.
Also, he didn't make a deal. He just agreed to switch places is what happened. He's basically taken over. So, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Did you go to a mic last night at all, Stephen?
I was going to, but the overall rumblings were a lot of despair and of just... It turns out that it was a good choice not to go. There was about 4 people there.
That's a lot for considering what the day was and all the. I mean,
I went last night and we had 20 audience members. Probably last night.
Yeah,
was that Aaliyah's?
Yeah.
Were they all at the bar hammering down shots?
No, but there are some rumblings that women are talking about putting in pussy bans, putting in their own pussy bans.
It's a little late for that now. They needed to do that before.
Yeah, but I mean, it has happened before in history.
Prohibition.
I read something like 2 years ago that there was some country that the women did this in the past, and it fucking shut the country down.
Yeah,
because the men were like, "Oh shit, they're serious."
Yeah, but you got somebody like Trump at the head of the ticket there. A pussy ban's not going to affect him because he ain't getting it anyway. and half of this party is incels, they're not getting it anyway. So
I just wonder if a lot of these bros will finally wade into the water of bisexuality, because they're going to be angry. They're not going to be have access to women because like decent women won't want them. So.
I
But it's not gay. It's not gay if you say no homo before you do it, Ron.
And there's going to be a lot of hunting trips to cabins.
Well, I understand what you're saying. I'm gonna just push back on that a little. You're assuming they haven't already. Here's what I am going to suggest. If anybody has the time and energy to do this, go find a glory hole or a place where men go to do like disgusting things to women through a hole, or sometimes to do another guy through a hole, and go park across the street with your phone and videotape everybody come in, going license plates and all that stuff, and let's broadcast that shit to the fucking world. I think
unless it's a Maryland tag on a black Hyundai. Unless and if the tag says SoGD funny on the back, you don't have to take that picture. Okay.
Yeah. Welcome to Confessions with the Dog, folks. Well, whatever floats your boat.
I'm just saying, if the tag on the plate says GD Fenderson, SoGDfunny.com, you don't have to take that picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, Ron, last night though, the club was dead last night. Like I said, there's a lot of the people, a lot of the group of that club are LGBT. They were anti-Trump. They were very nervous, anxious about it. A lot of them, a couple of them were like just full blown having panic and anxiety attacks. Like they just were not going out last night. But 4 people showed up. That's not including the bar staff or the club staff. It was just a bad turnout, and I think everyone's just kind of trying to come to terms at the moment. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think we had a total of like 5 comics, but it was like about 20 audience members. So they were there for it, and yeah, it was good to be up there. And
so let's backtrack a little bit. Before the election results, Ron was predicting where comedy was going to be going with it. It was going to get. Did your prediction about how comedy is going to change because of the results at all?
Well, in the room that I was in last night, that's definitely not a typical central Pennsylvania room, because it's a black room, essentially. It's in right in Harrisburg City. So, yeah, comedy felt a little different last night. Actually, it felt like this actually grounded a lot of the comics. It wasn't like completely last night. It was more of like being somewhat concerned, pissed off that we got to go through this bullshit again. And so that kind of felt like the consensus, and it felt good, like being in that room and being up on stage and conversing with the audience, because you could tell they needed relief too, because everyone was feeling like, really? So I think it was good overall, just to make people laugh and cathartic, just to get some of it out.
Right. Now, all the people are saying about Project 2025. It's now called Agenda 47. It's essentially exactly the same thing. I'm interested. He spent the last 6 months saying, I know nothing about it. Somebody should ask him about the plans today and how it matches up with Project.
But we also know too that it'll change on a dime. I could see like them trying to implement some of that Project 2025 stuff. Then one day Trump's like, yeah, I'm for it. Then the next day he'll be like, oh, someone told me that this part of it was bad. We're not doing that shit. We're not doing that. It's going to be this fucking back and forth.
I don't know.
I think as far as comedy goes, I think people are trying to feel out the landscape, feel out the atmosphere, because I think there's going to be a change. Because you got to remember, this upswing of the right, we started seeing a lot of people just being blatantly racist. I think that's going to probably grow not some, exponentially it's going to grow. But I think it's going to get to a point where people are going to get so tired of hearing it that there's going to be There's going to be a flip on it.
And
I
yeah,
think it's going to become a joke to be a bro. It's going to become a joke. Just like nobody used to make fun of the Harley guys, right? Nobody made fun of the Harley guys. It was the crotch rocket guys. Now the Harley guys are the brother. And the bro guys who got us in this mess are going to become the butts of all the jokes. And that's what's going to happen. So
I agree with you on that, Steven. I mean, it's for the past couple months, a lot of that attitude towards the bros it's been going that way because I've been making fun of them, and now I agree. And I
Good
think
morning, John.
Once he gets in the office, it is going to be a bloodbath on those people.
John Finger, who I have not seen in probably 30, maybe 35 years. Somewhere around there. Good guy. He says the Longshoremen Union has a pending automation issue coming due in January after the negotiated pause with the government help. How the new administration deals with them will say a lot. And remember the guy threatening to, what did he say? I'll cripple you? No offense, Steven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about something like that? Like, say that does
good point. That's a very good point.
And
Trump hates fucking unions. He's a scab, but now he's got to fucking negotiate with the union and give them what they want, or they could really fucking make things look bad for him. Not they're not threatening to make it look bad for Biden now. They're looking for him.
And how bad do you think they will make it for him?
Or if they want.
You mean us? Because we're the ones that
really
going to fuck, okay?
Well, for him and us.
But being a union boss, he wants everything for his workers, as he should. That's what a union boss's job is. I don't think he's going to be all that negotiable on some of these things. But he's up against a guy who's really the most anti-union guy we've had since Reagan, maybe even as much or more than Reagan in some instances. I don't know.
And he has Elon Musk in his ear, and Elon Musk is also very, very anti-union.
Fucking thank you, John, for bringing that up, because that's something a lot of people are not talking enough about. Is that thing is on hold until January, and then what happens then? I don't know, man. That's a sticky wicket.
It's going to be dick measuring, and the country will probably be all fucked up because supply chains will get fucked. And guess what? Prices will go through the roof. Gas will be expensive again, as it still is, and it's not going to go down. So enjoy your ass fucking, America. You signed up for this. I hope your ass is lubed up and just dripping all over the couch, ready to accept this.
Well, I don't want to be a Rush Limbaugh type of guy, because Rush Limbaugh wanted Obama to fail. I don't want to see hard times come to America. I don't want to see what I think will happen, but I can't deny that I am. I want people to realize why it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, I agree with you to a certain extent, but his past actions, and his administration was horrible the first time. So how can you not expect it to be worse? Because on top of that, he had decent people before, and now this administration, he ran through all those people. So now you're getting bottom of the barrel yes men.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. The guardrails are off in the administration, and this is where I wanted to come to. I know we only have 1 minute. I do want to do the news because there's some things I want to comment on in the news. But this idea of him gutting on day one, and he's going to put fucking brainworm boy in charge of this, is gutting the Food and Drug Administration completely, getting rid of everybody there and rebuilding the Food and Drug Administration and the Department of Education. They want to gut that completely and put in all loyalists. I mean, where we go from there, that's stuff that is absolutely doable, especially he doesn't need any legislation to do that. All he needs is executive orders to do all that stuff, and it's protected now.
Yep.
So, Yeah, and what that means in the long term. I don't want to be fucking. Listen, these are the same people that complained about Michelle Obama wanting to bring healthy foods into the school system and promote healthy schools in school cafeterias. Now they were against that, but now they're for Brainworm Boy shoving his food agenda down our throats. We're all going to end up with brainworms. Maybe that's the fucking plan.
Let's get it.
Everyone has brain parasites, then no one has brain parasites.
Right. Good point.
I
News time.
The United States and the Republic of Korea reached an agreement this month to enhance collaboration between the civil nuclear energy sectors of both nations.
The countries signed a Memorandum of Understanding that addresses nuclear exports and collaborative efforts, as confirmed by a U.S. Department of Energy statement. U.S. and South Korean officials emphasized their shared dedication to promoting peaceful nuclear energy while maintaining the highest standards of non-proliferation, safety, safeguards, and security. Liam White reporting.
French and Dutch authorities have raided Netflix offices in Paris and Amsterdam as part of a dual tax fraud probe targeting the streaming giant.
Officials from both countries announced they have cooperated on the Netflix tax investigation since it was discreetly initiated in 2022. Although Netflix has not commented on the recent raids, the company has previously stated it is adhering to the tax regulations in each country involved. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Protesters blocked a major Tel Aviv highway after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu dismissed Defense Minister Yoav Gallant Tuesday night, appointing Foreign Minister Israel Katz in his place.
Thousands of demonstrators obstructed traffic, ignited bonfires, and set up barricades on Tel Aviv's Ayalon Highway, the city's main thoroughfare, in response to Gallant's ousting. Approximately 2,000 Israelis participated in the impromptu demonstration, waving Israeli flags and yellow banners in solidarity with hostages still held in Gaza. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
Bernard Bernie Marcus, co-founder of the Home Depot and a prominent billionaire philanthropist and Republican donor, has passed away at the age of 95.
Marcus died in Boca Raton, Florida, surrounded by family, according to a Home Depot representative. He led the company through rapid expansion as CEO for its first 2 decades and remained board chairman until 2002. In recent years, he was known for his outspoken support of former President Donald Trump. Kevin Sanders reporting.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture has announced that starting in 2027, schools will be prohibited from charging processing fees to students eligible for free or reduced price meals.
School districts currently partner with processors to provide cashless payment systems for families, but these companies often add processing fees per transaction. By law, eligible students should pay no more than 30 cents for breakfast and 40 cents for lunch, but with fees, families can end up paying as much as 10 times those amounts. Jessica Oakley reporting.
A federal judge has ordered former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani to appear in court this week to clarify why he allegedly concealed his assets.
Giuliani has not transferred any property to former election workers Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, as required under a $148 million judgment issued last month. Last year, a judge found that Giuliani had defamed the mother-daughter duo by falsely accusing them of election fraud in Georgia's Fulton County during the 2020 election. Lawrence Keller reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Korea stuff now. I don't know that, why North Korea is sending soldiers, actual foot soldiers, to Russia, preparing for war, and we're worried about South Korea getting aggressive with South Korea, the good Korea, one of the good ones. We're worried about them building up an arsenal. Listen, the other ones are building up an arsenal to threaten the U.S. with. South Korea wants to protect themselves from that, and we're. Go ahead. What?
I don't think North Korea is going to be that big of a threat or an issue, even if they're with Russia, because now that they're in Russia, they're all getting hooked on pornography, and so. Yeah, they're going to be distracted, preoccupied, hands full.
They're not in Russia. They're in Ukraine.
The North Koreans that did go to Russia, though.
No, they're fighting in Ukraine, or in the parts of Ukraine that Russia
in Ukraine
controls.
with Russia. My bad. My apologies. Yes, sorry.
Yeah. And the school lunch thing and the school, trying to pass legislation that has to do with the Department of Education, which I just said is going to be eliminated on day one. Doesn't well, it's like we are just like trying to pass something that for 2 months that's not even going to be enacted within the 2-month period, that it's just going to be undone immediately. Where the fuck are people's heads at?
But at the same time, that's what bogs administration down, because you can say we're going to eliminate the Department of Education. Yeah, but that takes time, and if you just stop it, that creates all sorts of chaos, and it's going to stop everything.
Right. I don't think chaos. I don't think creating chaos is something that they're concerned about. I don't think it's going to stop any.
No, you could be right. I mean, the overall, because if you look at fascism, you need to create chaos, and that way, then he can come out and say, we need to, instill martial law and
burn down the Reichstag.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's coming, man. It's coming. So you know what? Again, my solution for this is going to be to do everything I can to find alternative voices and help them get amplified. And I don't know that can ever really be all that effective, but it's more effective than doing absolutely nothing. And in the situation that we are faced with, there's not much we can do, especially when, and this is, this is, in my view, this is something undeniable. The fourth estate, the media has completely let us down. If you look at the New York Times coverage of this election and the things they focused on, if you look at the mainstream media and all the stuff, even what the so-called leftist media focused on, it was just corporate interest. It was all about ratings. It's all about sensationalism and all that stuff, and nothing to do with telling people the truth that should concern them and about the issues and what they really mean. There are so many people out there who still don't understand. Like my brother, for example, don't understand that you don't promise to cut Social Security as a campaign promise that you're not going to fulfill. It's not something that appeals to people to get older people, but they voted anyway because they don't believe.
Where is that source from, though, that they introduced this? Because I haven't seen anything about it.
It was in the House, House.gov yesterday. Republicans tabled the bill.
Now, people have forgotten that George W. Bush, that was his main thing. He wanted to privatize Social Security. That was his thing, and he was very public about it. And people say, oh, he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. He wouldn't do that. And he did. He tried it. He just didn't get the votes in Congress. But yeah, he tried like hell to get that. He just didn't get the votes.
Yeah. I'll keep talking. I'm going to see if I can look up this bill.
So the problem that people have is that they don't know the things that have been attempted and failed. They only know about the things that have been attempted and succeeded, and they don't look at the failures. It doesn't matter to them. Like they say, Trump wouldn't try to prosecute his enemies. They say he didn't prosecute his enemies the first time around. It's like, yeah, but he tried. He tried to prosecute Hillary Clinton. He tried to prosecute her attorneys. He tried to prosecute a bunch of people. Peter Strzok, his girlfriend. I mean, just all these people he just tried to prosecute, and had the IRS looking up, auditing them. But a lot of times it didn't go through because there were people that acted as stopgaps or acted as dams that prevented him from doing the things he wanted to do. And people don't know about that because they were failures. They don't think, but and it also was like public failures. So people don't know. They're just ignorant.
Right.
And that's why history repeats itself, because we weren't listening the first fucking time.
Right.
Are we going to have like McCarthy trials again, you think?
It wouldn't surprise me.
No, I think they'd be called Johnson trials.
Most of the people who I talk to on the Trump side of this they think I'm making this up about July 1st and the Supreme Court decision that gave Trump immunity for anything and everything as long as it's in what he deems is in the best interest of America. It's an official act. They think I'm just making that up. So you talk about, uninformed. they don't want to listen to things that seem objectionable to them. Or when you bring that up, like, do you want him to be king? Some of them actually want him to be king. They want a king. They don't understand, how does that go against the idea of taking an oath to protect the Constitution? That's the number one thing this country was founded on: no fucking kings. I'm looking at this, the bill thing. There's so many of them that happened in the last day. Holy fucking Christ!
Yeah, it's kind of like the first time that when Trump became president, the first thing that the conservative Congress, the House, first thing they did was they passed a bill getting rid of the ethics, the congressional ethics oversight. That was their first bill that they passed, was to get rid of that congressional ethics oversight.
Yeah.
Of all the priorities, that was it. Let's get rid of them looking into our ethics.
All right. So, you guys keep looking. I'm looking up all these. There's so many bills to look through here. Holy crap. It's like I don't know if they think they can get this passed in time for them to sign on day one, because it's still a Senate that is, she's still the president of the Senate until January 20th. So I'm not sure they can get it by the Senate to get it passed on day one, but maybe they just want to get it passed by the House and be ready to give it to the Senate on day one for a quick, because they have taken the Senate. So.
Yeah, they've taken the Senate. The House is still up for grabs. So if the House, let's say, if the House flips back to the Democrats, then Hakeem Jeffries could pull those bills back.
When are we going to know those fucking results?
I don't know. I have no fucking
Why?
idea.
Why if we can say that the presidential election was result? Now everybody was saying, "Oh, it's going to be weeks and at minimum days," and we knew by 2:30 in the morning. Why can't we count the fucking House votes and get it figured out? Who won the House? Who won? God damn it!
I don't know. Maybe some of them were so close that they hit the automatic recount button. I don't know. I have no idea.
They should have a search button.
Well, hopefully the Democrats actually find someone that has like some charisma. They can be loud and
this is not
really come after.
I'm looking at text of bills for the week of September 23rd, 2024. No wonder this isn't this week. What's up with House.gov?
The only thing I want them to pass at this point is the King's Act. That's it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my plan now. Is to go to Cabo San Lucas and die on the beach there with a guitar in my hand. Hopefully, some good white weed. They don't have white weed. They got brown weed in Mexico. I'm gonna have
got bleach though, right? They got bleach.
I have not spoken a word of Spanish since probably ninth grade in high school Spanish, and I wasn't very good at it then. I'm gonna have to take one of these Rosetta Stone crash courses and learning to speak Spanish, because I'm not gonna do Weedo. Anybody Weedo?
There's some guy walk up and say, "See, I'm Weedo. See, I'm Weedo."
Gringo say Weedo.
So what's your what do you think what's going to be our newest war coming up for next year? Do you think we'll just
World War III?
No, I mean, do you think we'll get completely dragged into Israel and that Middle East conflict, or will it be something with Russia?
I don't think we have to get involved. I think basically just taking all the money that we were given to Ukraine and pumping Israel up is enough. That we don't need to send any. Israel seems to be capable of completely wiping out the other side all on its own at this point. I don't think we'd have to lift a finger to let them do that. All it is required is to not do anything and just not even voice any opinion about it in the on the world stage about it, and just say, sure, let them do whatever the fuck they want. We're now completely on the side of Israel and don't give a fuck about the other people. They're all the enemy. This is Trump was coming out and saying any Muslim who voted for Kamala Harris, you got to be crazy. This is the guy who fucking put a Muslim ban. A ban on Muslims entering the country, saying that she hates you. I don't know.
So you're going to go with the Middle East will be our
I'm going to
next.
go with we don't have to do anything. Just let the world burn down.
No, yeah, we don't have to, but we will because,
Yeah.
like, if you're a strong man or something like that in another country, he's unstable and he's willing because he's got to show that he has a big dick, even though that small mushroom head.
But the reality is, yeah, he has a small dick, and he's not really his boss. Putin is pulling it. He's Putin's puppet, and he's just gonna basically. He's already talked about just surrendering Ukraine. He should just surrender Ukraine and give them
That's
back.
true. Iran is helping Russia, and if Israel and Iran go at it, they're going to have a problem because Trump's loyalties are with Russia, which are with Iran, and Trump's people, their loyalties are with Bibi Netanyahu, and also Trump is like, and Bibi has been being a dick to Biden so that he could get Trump in office. So it's going to be. This is going to be one of those divorce court things. This is going to be one of those what's those? We're going to be on TV court like Judge Judy or something, trying to figure this one out.
Imagine
take someone serious.
Just imagine someone's daughter will have to go to war for Trump, and you could possibly die, and you don't even have control over your own body at home.
Right.
Why would anybody really support that? So,
right.
Good luck.
My suggestion to any soldier who does not want to fight for Trump's illogical causes: develop bone spurs. Okay, develop bone spurs now.
Developing them doesn't really get you the deferment because it's not like we don't have a draft in this country. People are signing up, yet. I don't.
Yeah, but if you're injured, they're not going to deploy you, right? You have to be healthy to be deployed. If you got a bone spur, you can't march and shoot. Well, you can shoot, but you can't march unless they're going to put them all in tanks so they don't have to walk.
Yeah.
Look, you know what I know about the military? I just explained it right there. That's what I know about. I know about the military is what you just heard, and that it's a socialist organization.
They're going to put Stephen on the front line. This is
they would.
Yeah, they would. With all the finger pointing and the blame, how do I even address this without, and not like I'm concerned about pissing people off at this point, just in a way that accurately depicts the situation with the blaming. A lot of women, left progressive people are blaming the loss on misogyny because a lot of men just cannot accept having a woman president. I think that part that a lot of men are just rejecting the idea of having a woman president is true. I don't think that is the reason if she lost. And again, I'm really concerned about what happened to those missing votes. But considering the outcome that has been accepted and conceded to, I don't think misogyny is the reason because more women just voted for Trump than voted for her, and this is not a male thing. I think there are some men, especially I think if you look at the Latino vote, there was a lot of Latinos who are very conservative in the idea that a woman's place is in the kitchen, in the home, and not running a company or a country. So there's that.
Mexico has a woman president, so it's not like, well, but all Latinos are not Mexicans. I understand that, but I'm just saying
that's true.
Mexico
but the ones who have been vocal Trump supporters have come out and said that, and not that he represents all Latinos, obviously.
Obviously, he never played Little League sports because it's the women that make Little League sports possible. Okay, and that's why when in the NFL, when the guy scores a touchdown, he thanks his mom and he thanks God, and the order is it depends on the order, but yes, they thank God and they thank their mom. That's why it's the moms that make these these guys that you worship, these tough guys, it's the mothers that made them the tough guys.
Right, I get it. No, I get that. Listen. I have worked for several female CEOs, and they are not only the most successful CEOs and most competent CEOs that I have worked for. They are the most competent CEOs I've ever known for in any of my professional life. But I don't think misogyny played the big role here, because here's the deal: I voted for Harris. My wife voted for Trump. That's not and I don't think I'm alone in that. I think a lot of white Christian women, voted for Trump. Who knows what the fuck rationale tells them that this guy is a good Christian. I think it's all about preserving the white race. But this whole idea of misogyny, it doesn't add up to me, because I see so many women, the people who argue for Trump on Twitter, white women all day long, and talk about his Christian values. Like, what the fuck, man? So I don't think misogyny it might have played a role, but it certainly isn't the key factor in why 15 million people who voted for Biden didn't show up for her.
Right. Like I said, it's going to be multiple causes. They're going to find out, in theory, in my mind, they're going to find like 6 or 7 causes for those things.
They were trying to make the dopiest excuses, like all the votes haven't been counted yet. Well, enough votes have been counted for you to post this difference here, that his aren't going up. To a day and a half later, his have not moved up at all. So you had a day and a half now. That you tell me they're still not counting? Because yesterday they were making, California, there's still 7 million votes to count. Well, so you tell me enough votes had come in to decide her absolutely the winner in California, but there are still 7 million votes left to be counted. It seems.
I guess it could, when they do that, that's when the amount of votes that are left out are less than the gap.
She'd have to have won by at least 8 million in California for 7 million or 7 million and 1, let's say. I don't know. But
I don't know. I honestly, I checked out. I cannot emotionally get into that yet. I can't. I can't do my deep dive, because I'm damaged goods right now. I'm emotionally damaged goods, but I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah. So, basically you said we're going to find out. I don't think we're going to find out. This is my biggest problem, is that I don't think anybody's looking into this. I think they've just accepted it. And, I've heard the dopey excuse that people, well, see, that proves that Biden's numbers were made up, and I don't know. Nobody ever claimed that in 2020 that Biden's numbers weren't real. They were saying they flipped votes from Trump to him, but that still doesn't make up 15 million votes. They didn't just appear out of nowhere. So that argument is ridiculous. But people are making, see, this just proves that 2020 was rigged and they fabricated. It doesn't. There are still 15. No matter, actually, the number is closer to 18 million votes that are just not accounted for. And we're just gonna, no big deal. 18 million votes that, I don't know, could change things. That's not going to bother even look into it. That's the most troubling thing from the outcome of this, that I just can't wrap my head around. Like, nobody's even looking into it. And you say, we're going to find out there are multiple causes. Who's going to find out? Nobody's looking into it. You got to look into it to find out, don't you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well.
All right. Well, no guests today. Obviously, Mishorn's not showing up, and that's a good thing, because I think I was probably going to end up calling him the N-word.
You were not going to call him a Nazi.
No, I don't mind calling anybody a Nazi. But I probably would have put a dumb in front of it. But I'm certain that he probably would have triggered me. I don't have any patience.
You mean triggered in a good way, though, right? You mean a good trigger, right?
Right.
Is that what? Okay.
I think he means trigger.
Okay, trigger. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have any patience for any of the underdogs who voted against their own interest. Minorities of any kind, people who are persecuted against in our society, you voted for it, man. I don't have any fucking, and I'm not going to be nice. I'm sorry. I just don't, I wasn't nice to begin with. But to be nice to fucking people on who are backing Mr. Polite, and fuck you. Are you listening to? You keep saying how much you love him because he speaks his mind without any filter. But me, I'm supposed to have a filter in my comeback. No, that's not. Gloves are off, man. So I think Peter heard me bashing on about the Nazism and ran away, and Uncle Mishorn, whatever, maybe just didn't get the link or didn't. I don't care. I don't fucking care. With Peter, what I was going to want to address, because I have issues with this whole idea of fitness coaches online. You're a fitness expert. Did you take your course online? Did you get your you're a fitness expert? Did you get your fitness expertise from another coach online? Did you need that? Probably, you say. I say probably not. Most of the guys, and I've been doing this long enough to have interviewed hundreds of them. No, they developed their course on their own. They went to the gym. They were gym rats. They went to Planet Fitness, half of them, or some monthly subscription thing. They got in shape and decided, I'm allowed to create a course and tell other people how to get fit. But it's not the way I got fit. It's not the way I did it. So what, if you're gonna lay a path down, this is why, academics teach academics. People who in fitness or health field just think, I discovered it on my own, but you can't discover it on your own. You need me to tell you how to discover it on your own. That's my biggest problem with these online courses. Everybody wants to build their own course on their expertise that they developed on their own. So I don't know. I'm glad maybe he sensed that and ran away. Sir Peter ran away. Sir Peter ran away. Fuck him. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if I piss
Nobody
off.
likes a runny Peter.
Yeah. And, I've just kind of lost any kind of will to talk to these people with their and help them promote their silly little agendas of my course, my book, whatever it is. It's like, what? I'm done with it. I have no energy for it at this point. Maybe it'll return where I can actually ask people some things about their philosophies or what they're trying to. What are you fucking trying to sell? Because a lot of them, basically don't even want to admit that they're here to try to sell something. So I don't know. You guys are ready for? It's tomorrow night, right? Your big show. Are you ready? It's going to be weird, right? It's going to be weird. The first show after this kind of emotional week for a lot of people.
The first real show of the Trump era.
The Trump era has been going on.
It's the first real show for me anyway. Ron's probably done like 12 shows between Tuesday and today.
It sounds fuzzy. Fuzzy
farting.
Yeah, Ron's probably done like 12 shows between Tuesday and today. This will be my first real show since the election.
How long do you think it will take for people to fully hate Trump? Besides, because like during his last term, like the rails went off probably around COVID time. And when COVID hit, that's when the rails really started to go off. Or the train.
Well, even before then, he put on the tariffs on steel and agriculture, and that was so disastrous that he actually had to bail out his own farmers that he was supposed to have been helping.
Let me be the voice of perspective here. I hate to keep coming back to Hitler, but Hitler is the fucking measuring stick here. It really is. I had a girlfriend who lived in Breslau, Lindenhurst, which is a very German town when I was a young man. And She had she was living with her grandparents. Her mother was a single mother by that point, living with her grandparents, and her grandfather, who fought in World War II, obviously on the side of the United States, had a basement, his little man cave. And on the man cave, he had a portrait of Hitler next to a portrait of JFK. But he had still not learned to hate Hitler, even though he fought in World War II in the European theater. So you say, how long is it going to take for people to hate Trump? That was 50 years. No, that was 40 years after World War II. He still was loving Hitler.
Maybe it was an autograph picture, and that's why he didn't get rid of it. You know, Hitler signed it.
He was believing in the Reich. The Reich.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out a way to, why you would save the picture.
No, I talked to him. I had it wasn't like I didn't have. I'm just saying that's how much he adored the guy. He definitely was a believer that Hitler did good things for Germany. So he wasn't a believer in that Hitler should have expanded and tried to, take over Poland or whatever. And then.
Oh, in other words, he was a good guy until he took it beyond the German borders.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But to the idea of make Germany great again, he was all on board with that. And he was one of the people who would have probably been at Madison Square Garden in the 30s for the Make America Great Again movement. Point I'm making is none of the Trump people 40 years from now, 50 years from now, will have changed their mind one bit.
So MAGA stands for Make America Germany Again?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
That's exactly what
it means. Can we make that a t-shirt?
Make America Germany Again?
Yeah. Thank you for that. I think I'm going to have to do that.
With a Trump head with a little Hitler stash?
I can't use Trump head. That will never be allowed in the marketplace.
Can you use Trumpy Trout? Can you use Trumpy Trout's head? I'm just teasing.
Yeah, on the comedy, but the point again, there's 40 years from now, people will still be loyal to the cause. Very few people will. He could burn down. Remember, Berlin was in ruins because of Hitler, but they still loved them even 40 years after that. Trump will burn down America, and Trumpers will still be loyal.
What did you think of Bernie Sanders' tweet about the Democratic Party?
I didn't see it.
Yeah, he called the party out. Where'd it go?
Well, yeah, I saw that, but I don't remember exactly.
He basically said the Democratic Party has abandoned working class people.
That is so silly. Wasn't she out with the union? She was the one.
Yeah,
see, because I had this discussion with somebody on Twitter before the show this morning. They were saying she didn't talk about any issues. She was talking about tax credits and for working people with children. She was talking about first-time home buyer, stuff. She was talking about issues that help the middle class. She was going out to the unions and talking about fair wages and living wages and all that kind of stuff. It's not like she abandoned the middle class. She was making those very popular populist points to America. They just weren't hearing it. All they were hearing was, well, she doesn't like my guy. She doesn't like and they were hearing that, well, she's a woman and she's brown, and like I can't get behind that.
That's why when it comes to left-leaning politicians, I don't lean toward Bernie. I align more with Elizabeth Warren, because at least she has like concrete answers and concrete solutions. She's more concrete than Bernie Sanders. Seems like he's got some grievances that he's trying to work out. I mean, the fact that he's just saying that, but I like Elizabeth Warren, what can I say?
I don't know what her specific proposals to help the middle class or help to rebuild the middle class. But I am certain that the other side is not about the middle class. They're about billionaires. They're about not only giving the billionaires tax credits, but using Social Security to fund taking the money away from the middle class to fund the billionaires. And so you want to talk, and she was talking about those issues. To say she wasn't talking about the issues that help the middle class, I think that's tone deaf. They weren't listening to what she was saying because she was doing that constantly. I think she ran a very good campaign. I do.
She did. She ran a very good campaign. I think she did everything that she needed to do.
But when she did everything she needed to do, but when.
But we don't know that she didn't win. We just know that she isn't. We just know that she won't be taking office unless something changes.
The Democratic Party, though, they've had their struggles for the past few years, because I've heard from other Black people have said they feel like the party left them behind years ago, and
They're stupid.
They court them because during election time and shit like that. So I guess there are some gripes there, but two, both of the parties look very similar. Besides, obviously, certain points, but a lot of the times, a lot of the stuff is the same, except with subtle differences. Like one may lean more corporate than towards workers. And I think that's what really upsets people, is that people see the two-party system as basically two parties that are the same with just a couple few differences.
One of the issues I have...
That's understandable. I think that's very understandable.
One of the issues I have with Black voters who don't understand how politics works is that, or it's like they're waiting for a policy for them to say, like, this is a Black people's policy. Let's say a rising tide lifts all boats. If America's doing well, in your part of America, you can do well too. Now, true, the Floyd, was it George Floyd bill, or that didn't go anywhere, but that wasn't because the Democrats didn't try. It was because the Republicans stopped it. There are a lot of things that just get stopped in legislation. It's not because the Democrats are not trying. So sometimes you need to pay attention to what's a little bit deeper than, they didn't say Black people in the bill. The bill didn't say Black people, so it didn't, not for me, they didn't say Black people. Right. Donald Trump could say, I am for reparations tomorrow. And then he can say, I'm going to give Black people reparations. Okay. And then he gives Black people reparations and decides to tax it at 98%. Okay. Yeah. Well, we give you reparations, but I'm going to tax it at 98% and charge you a 2% handling fee. So you get nothing. So you have to pay attention to the fucking details, people. Not just Black people, but all you people. You need to pay attention to fucking details.
Nobody. Yeah, again, nobody seems to really know. The people are talking about, somebody said, well, yeah, cheap gas is coming back. It's already back. It's been back for over a year now. Gas prices have come down over $1.75 a gallon in the last year. They've come down $1.
Yeah, gas was under $2 here. Just the other day, it was $1.98.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're saying. But wait, let me just finish up on that point. They're saying cheap gas is coming back. They don't follow Donald Trump, because Donald Trump was asking Saudi Arabia and Russia and Iran to increase gas prices. He actually put out a tweet he was proudly in public asking them to increase the price of oil to drive gas prices up. He asked them for that. So to say, well, yeah, cheap gas is coming back. Hello, it's been back, and your guy wanted it to go up. He asked for it to go up, and he wasn't doing that when he knew he lost. He did that long before he even thought he was going to lose. He wanted to increase big oil profits.
And if anybody's lost any family or friends to fentanyl overdoses in the past month or so, you can thank Donald Trump for that as well.
Right. Yeah. What do you want to say now, Stephen? By the way, let me go ahead. I'll come back.
Ask your question. Go ahead.
All right. I think, Stephen, your youth, because I saw a post you put out yesterday saying, I just want to be united again, or for the second time since we were in 9/12. I'm sorry, your youth is misleading you in your perception. We were not. We were not united in any way on 9/12/2001. Not even close.
So what you're saying, Matt, is...
Are you a retard?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Where you get that perception from, I have no fucking clue. But obviously, you were too young to see the amount of insane hatred.
10 years old.
Huh?
I was 10 years old. Of course, I was too young.
Right. So but you're quoting it now, saying quoting the talking point now. We were united then. No, we weren't. We were more divided than we were ready for. We were ready to go out with pitchforks and kill every Muslim American just because they happened to be Muslim on 9/12. We were holding rallies to say, let's go fucking kill all the Muslims.
That is true. Yeah.
You know, a lot of times you bring up these points that you were too young to be actually cognizant of what was going on at the time, and this idea that we were ever united on 9/12. My God, people wanted war tribunals against Bush and Cheney because of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And not just that, but just part of it. Yeah.
And whatever side you're on of that, whether they were actual war criminals or not, the fact is we were not united in any way. There was never a time where we were like holding hands and singing Kumbaya together. It just did not happen, and that's never going to happen. So you can decide to live by what you believe is right and do what you believe is right, or you can just this idea that we're going to get along and try to be nice to each other.
No, I know it won't happen. I mean, I know it's a pot dream for sure.
Yeah.
I just wish it was a thing that could happen. But my question was way deeper than that. My question was, why did GD give the black guy in his story and act like a voice? You could have just used your own voice.
What black guy? What
was? I resorted to my step and fetch.
He made the black guy kind of sound like Bubba. He was like, "Well, that ain't my bill." It's just like, why'd you do that?
I wanted to distinguish between black people that think like me and black people that don't. So if I use my own voice, it sounds like that. So that's why I did that, and that's my default ignorant black man voice. That's my default ignorant black man voice.
Do I need to get off Govs yet? No, not quite yet.
It just felt mildly racist, and I don't know why, because it was you doing it.
It's not mildly racist. It's mildly intellectualist.
Okay, no, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Can we make it all about me again? I want to come back to me.
Well,
let's talk about me.
Sure, go ahead, old bald guy.
Before we make it about the old bald guy, I just think it's important that people my age need to get their head out of the sand and just open up your eyes to what's happening. Okay, it's not. You have to stop worrying about your perception of people, of how they think of you, and just worry about the things that are happening. Because a lot of the bro votes the bro vote thing. It bothers me because a lot of it, I think, was done just to keep up this image, this image of I don't know of what, but it just felt like an image move. Like, we're going to take our big trucks down and we're going to vote for Trump, and then we're going to go have beers afterwards. Like, that's what it felt like. It just grosses me out.
What it felt like to you? You know what it felt like to me? If I live in a county that there's so many Republicans that when I go to the market now, I look at people and go, did that fucker vote for Trump? Did that fucker vote for Trump? Did that fucker vote for Trump? You know, and as a general rule of thumb, I'm polite. I hold doors for people. You know, if they drop something, I pick it up. You know, I'm chivalrous. I'm polite. I'm kind. But now, before I do the kind act, I'm like, they look like a Trumper. Should I help them?
Yeah, that's what Aaliyah was saying something like that last night when she started the show. She's like, yeah, when I've seen people walk by me or in the store, it's like, that motherfucker voted for Trump. I bet. I know it.
Absolutely. This is with me. Every interaction with another human being is, are they a Trumper or not? before I can. And if I have made the decision, and people are not taking me seriously enough on this. People who thought they were my friends, because I have cut several of them completely out of my life in the last couple of days. It's like, I am not going to be even polite to you anymore. I know what you are. You are a Nazi. I'm a bald old man, and I'm going to call you a fucking Nazi. This guy who, my brother's best friend, a guy who I grew up with, as part of my life, who has been very good to my brother. He was my best friend's cousin growing up, and he basically, he's a Nazi. He's a fucking Nazi, and I don't say that with him without any proof of it. Here's the proof I have. Several years ago, at the beginning of the first Trump administration, there was a post going around. It was a video of a guy wearing a skinhead wearing a Nazi jacket with a swastika on his arm, attacking a black guy, and the black guy knocked him out. And this guy was on the side of the Nazi. He was taking the side of the Nazi. That makes you a Nazi. I mean, I understand. I understand that you just hate black people. But if you hate black people enough to go full Nazi, then you're a Nazi. There's no fucking denying that. The racism part of it is not all that we're talking about here. You are supporting a Nazi. And then, like, at this point, you have forgotten that the Nazis are the bad guys. So this guy was on my Facebook last night. I don't know. He had been lurking in the dark last night. And he commented on my post saying that I'm just fucking sick of all you fucking Trumpers. I hate everyone.
I know somebody who's probably rubbing their hands together like this after she lost. And that would be Josh Shapiro.
You think?
That guy, yeah.
So wait a minute. But he wanted to be. You're talking about the guy who governor of Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, governor of Pennsylvania.
He wanted to be vice president under her, but he's rubbing her hands that Trump won. He's rubbing his hands.
No, he was interviewed for vice president, but they said in his interview and stuff with for that job, he said he has bigger ambitions. He wants to be president. He doesn't want to be anyone's vice president. Not that he wasn't, flattered to have the offer, but he said he just has bigger ambitions and he wants to.
Doesn't he understand that is the best? That's the fastest road to becoming president, is to become a vice president.
It just depends on his ambition. I mean, yeah, you could be right, but then maybe he doesn't want to seem like, oh, well, I'm just getting this job because I was here.
Yeah,
so
but rubbing his hands.
I don't think he's happy that she lost, but I'm just saying, in the grand scheme of things, if you're looking at things,
he's thinking this presents an opportunity for him. But I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, because currently there's really no one in the Democratic Party that has any type of like pizzazz or like.
Well, Gretchen Whitmer does.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but like. Yeah, I think
I could see a Shapiro Whitmer ticket. I could see a Shapiro Whitmer ticket.
Whitmer, forget about Whitmer.
Okay.
Forget it. I mean, don't forget about it. I mean, jerk off all you want to her, but don't think. Here's what's going to happen. The what do they call it? Shell shock of them blaming that two women who just lost in shockingly bad ways. It's going to be a long time before the Democrats are willing to put up a female candidate for president again.
I said a Shapiro Whitmer ticket. In other words, he at the top of the ticket, her vice president.
And plus, more than likely, it could be J.D. Vance that they're running against, and like a candidate like Shapiro, honestly, I think would literally beat the shit out of Vance on that stage.
I think you're right.
He would. I think he would literally tear him to shreds.
Yeah, and people, the delusions of people who are thinking that Tim Walz is going to be. First of all, I don't think there is going to be an election in 2028. I don't. I think we have a king who is going to tear up the Constitution, tear up all the institutions of the United States of America. I think Führer is a better word for what we have. And once he's sworn in, this is the road to apocalypse. But if there is, Tim Walz is not going to be even considered. He barely won his own fucking state.
Walz. I think the reason why Tim Walz was picked was because he has no ambition to be president.
Right.
So he's not,
but there are people all over Twitter who are saying, well, he's the next. No. He barely won his own fucking state.
No, it will be Shapiro, and probably in about 6 months, when probably around March or April timeframe, when things when chaos starts showing up because of the shitty administration, I'm sure you'll start seeing Shapiro start making the rounds because he's going to be out there.
Put himself on the Daily Shows. I'm not saying the Daily Show is in Comedy Central. I mean, the Daily Shows is an everyday.
Yeah, he was on the Daily Show about a week and a half ago.
Yeah, he was. He was very good on it.
Knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, he did.
Honestly, when he was on there, you're like, he should have been the top of the ticket. Honestly, it's not that she's not qualified or anything like that, but that guy, he's got the charisma. He's got the energy. He's got what you desire in a candidate. He's got charisma.
The only thing is, the only reason why he didn't. Once Biden said, once Biden endorsed Kamala Harris, nobody wanted to be the one to be against that. That's why they all